Hello everyone and welcome to Retail Archaeology. In this episode we'll be taking a look at Target. The first Target store opened in May of 1962 in Roseville, Minnesota, but their history actually goes back further than that. Target stores were originally the creation of the Dayton Company, which was founded in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1902 by George Draper Dayton. They were high-end department stores that were located throughout Minnesota in the upper Midwest. Besides creating Dayton's department stores and the Target stores, the Dayton Company is also responsible for building the first indoor shopping mall in the United States, which was the Southdale Center in Edina, Minnesota, and that was opened in 1956. After opening their chain of Target stores in 1962, the Dayton Company merged with Hudson's, which was another department store chain, in 1969 and formed the Dayton-Hudson Company. Many years later, in 1990, the Dayton-Hudson Corporation acquired Marshall Field's department stores and rebranded all Dayton's department stores as Marshall Field stores in 2001. It was about at this time that they were looking to kind of get out of the luxury department store business, and this became pretty clear in 2000 when they changed the name of the company from the Dayton-Hudson Corporation to the Target Corporation. In 2004, the Marshall Field's department store business was purchased by May Department Stores, and then in 2005, May Department Stores merged with Macy's, and all of the Marshall Field stores were rebranded as Macy's stores. 2004 also saw the Target Corporation sell their Mervyn's business. I wasn't aware that the Target Corporation had owned Mervyn's, but apparently the Dayton-Hudson Company had purchased them all the way back in 1978. A few years after Mervyn's was sold to private investors, they were closed down for good in 2008. All of that history takes us to today, where currently the Target Corporation operates around 2,000 Target stores throughout the United States. Target also had a brief presence in Canada. Target Canada was formed in 2013, but it was pretty much a complete disaster from the get-go, and by 2015 all stores were closed and Target Canada was shut down with $2.1 billion in losses. Many Canadian shoppers felt the prices were too high in Target, especially when compared to their competitors in Canada and also Target stores that they had been to in the United States. When I was a kid, I think Target was the first store that I saw have these price scanner things. The new ones here are just basically tablets now, but I never had a problem figuring out how much something cost at Target. It's not like Kohl's where their pricing is a disaster. Since we're talking about Target, we have to talk about CVS a little bit as well. Back in June 2014, CVS announced a deal to buy all of Target's pharmacy and clinic businesses. They bought it for around $1.9 billion, and ever since then, the pharmacy department inside Targets have been branded as CVS Pharmacy. This Target location doesn't have a clinic in it, but any Targets that did have clinics in them, they were all rebranded to Minute Clinics in February 2016. It looks like here in this corner is where they do vaccinations, but I don't know why they don't leave that little barrier wall up all the time. It just gives this kind of a weird, creepy vibe. I was surprised the pharmacy was closed. It wasn't like I was here that late. This was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Now let's take a look at the expanded grocery section that they've added to most Targets at this point. Target didn't really carry groceries when I was a kid. So I always thought this was kind of strange. I could never really imagine doing my grocery shopping at Target. Although, whenever I'm at Target for something else, I usually do run through this section real quick just to see if there's anything, for a really good price on sale. But for things like produce, butcher department type stuff, bakery stuff, it's a pretty limited selection. They don't actually have like a bakery in store, and this is pretty much the entire fresh produce section right here. Target has 40 distribution centers in the United States, but none of their grocery items come from Target distribution centers. All of this stuff comes from third-party vendors and companies that Target is partnered with, and that's different than how Walmart handles groceries. Walmart has all its own grocery distribution centers and warehouses and things. It looks like this Target location has one solitary steak for sale. See, steak is not something that I would ever think to buy from Target. Frozen stuff, probably not either, just because I tend to kind of walk around Targets quite a bit, like I think a lot of shoppers do, and so I could see this stuff kind of melting in the cart while you're looking at all the other stuff in the store. But I guess if you're coming here just to do your grocery shopping, then it's probably fine. But I don't think a lot of people do that, because it does seem like the grocery section of Target stores seem to be the least busy when I'm there. And speaking of not being busy, that kind of leads us into where Target is today and how they're doing. And this is the part of the video where politics are going to come into the discussion a little bit, because it is important to the overall discussion of what's currently going on at Target. And if that makes you angry or upset, thanks for watching the last 5.5 minutes of this video, but maybe this isn't the video for you. And also, this isn't an airport, so you don't need to announce your departure down in the comments. So, as you can see from this footage, this was filmed in February of 2026. A year prior to that, though, in February 2025, there was a major boycott announced against Target. By the end of February 2025, it was reported that Target had lost $12.4 billion in market value due to the boycott. And the cause of the boycott was really just a simple case of company leadership being dumbasses and not understanding their customer base. Shortly after Donald Trump was elected to his second presidential term, Target made an announcement that they were rolling back DEI policies. And I'm sure you're familiar with DEI, but if you don't know, DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Target said they were rolling back their DEI policies because of the importance of staying in step with evolving external landscapes. Basically, diversity, equity, and inclusion are big scary words for a very vocal minority of people in this country, and so Target felt it was best to cater to those people, which, do they not know their customer base and everything that they've done over the last 20 years to build up that customer base? It seems like a really mealy-mouthed, stupid thing to say. You know, the opposites of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion is uniformness, inequity, and exclusion, and none of those are a good thing to be practicing if you're trying to run a successful retail business. You can make the argument for uniformness that yes, if the stores look uniform from each other, that's probably a good thing. But as far as people go, a diverse customer base means more people spending money in your store, which is what I think the goal is of retail. Inequity is not going to help you keep the best and brightest employees. And excluding groups of people seems like a really dumb idea when you're trying to make money. By September 2025, over $20 billion in shareholder value had been lost, and there are several shareholder class action lawsuits that have been filed. By late 2025, Target had made an announcement that they were laying off 1,800 corporate staff. You know what, real quick, while we're over in this camera section, I want to point something out real quick. I get a lot of questions about what camera I use to do a lot of the filming for these videos. One that I use quite frequently is a GoPro Hero 9, although it looks like the Hero 13 Black is out now, so maybe I need to look into upgrading my camera at some point, but that's what I use, is a GoPro. Back to Target though. Target has realized at this point that they do have a problem, and in February 2026 it was announced that CEO Brian Cornell would be stepping down and be replaced by Michael Fidelk, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. The new CEO, Michael Fidelk, has been with Target for over 20 years, so he's very familiar with how Target has operated up until recently. His plan to turn things around is to try and make Target trendy again and bring back that whole Target boutique thing. And in order to do that, he plans on investing $2 billion in store renovations, increasing staff payroll by $1 billion, and investing in AI tech, which I'm not sure how that's going to help anything. Besides pissing off their entire customer base, Target does have other issues that they're facing. For example, just less stuff that they can sell in their stores. A good example of that is physical media. I always check out the video game section when I'm in Target, and it's amazing how much each of the major video game companies' sections are shrinking. This is the Nintendo section, and this one still has the pole dancing Mario, which is pretty great, and overall the Nintendo section seems to be still the most stocked and biggest video game section of the store. But there's still not a lot of stuff here. You can see a lot of those cases there are empty. But it does still kind of take up both sides of an aisle, which is more than you can say for the other manufacturers. But things like CDs, even records, it seems like they carry a lot less of them now. There's just less stuff to sell in the store. Here's the Sony section, and this is really sparse. It does look like there's more PlayStation games here, though, than I've seen in GameStop stores recently, which is pretty sad. Some of the Nintendo stuff even bleeds over here into another section. They have a content creator tech section? That's interesting. I know I've been shitting on Target quite a bit in this video, but current situation aside, you know, for the most part, I've always really liked Target, and I've shopped at Target quite a bit over the years. And while how empty the shelves are here in the video game section is not a good look, overall I do like their stores. I find them fairly easy to shop in. They're usually pretty clean and bright. Prices are usually pretty competitive. They actually have helpful employees throughout the store. Like I said, overall I do like Target quite a bit. Definitely not rooting for them to fail, but this is definitely one of the worst cases I've seen of a company shooting themselves in the foot by releasing just one statement that pissed off their entire customer base. I was surprised at how quiet this Target location was on a Sunday. I haven't been inside a Target in a long time because the way that I've tended to shop at Target over the last couple of years is to just do pickup orders. I usually only buy a couple of things at a time at Target that are usually a pretty good price, and I just do an online order and then go pick it up 2 hours later at the store in the parking lot. It's actually a pretty great system, especially compared to Walmart's where you have to like pick a time that you're gonna come, and sometimes they run out of slots that day and you can't get your pickup order till the next day. There really are a lot of things that Target actually does right, like their order pickup system. They donate a ton of money to tons of different charities over the years. And I've had several friends over the years that have worked for Target, and they've all said that overall Target was a pretty great company to work at that had really good benefits. I don't think this fairly silly blunder that they've made is going to put Target out of business or anything, but I do think it's going to take them a long time to rebuild a lot of that consumer trust that they had. I have read reports that a lot of people that called for the boycott are now stepping back from that now and calling off the boycott due to the new CEO and everything, so we'll just have to see how things play out. Before we wrap up this video, let's head to another Target location because I want to discuss another recent development regarding Target. So here's our second Target location, and the reason that we're here now is to discuss the deal between Ulta and Target. This is one of the Target locations that had an Ulta added to it, and then like 6 months later they built a new Ulta Beauty location right next door to it, which just seemed really weird. But I found out later on why this most likely happened. So this is the Ulta inside the Target, and back in 2021, Target and Ulta signed a deal that was originally supposed to open 800 Ulta locations inside Target stores. However, this conversion only happened in 600 locations, and it was announced in August 2025 that the partnership between Ulta and Target would end in August 2026. So I'm sure that's why Ulta had no issues with opening right next door to this Target, because this Ulta section in here will be gone soon. All of the Ultas inside Target are going to be replaced with something they're calling the Target Beauty Studio. Most analysts think that the partnership ending will likely hurt Target but not really hurt Ulta at all. And I want to read a really funny quote from a Forbes article in August of 2025. It's called "Calling It Quits, Ulta Beauty and Target's Partnership Unravels" by Pamela N. Danziger. And the quote that I think is so funny is this: "Looking ahead, the breakup is likely to be a painful blow to the already embattled Target, facing declining sales, a shortfall in foot traffic, and national boycotts. For Ulta, the exit should be of little consequence, even enhancing its reputation. As the saying goes, nobody wants to sit at the reject table." God, that's cold. Personally, I don't think Target is doomed, but it will be interesting to see how much of a turnaround they're able to pull off over the next year or two. But what are your thoughts on Target? Do you shop here regularly? Did you stop shopping at Target because of the boycott? Let me know down in the comments below. I think we'll wrap this video up with a Retail Archaeology classic, The Abandoned Drink. As always, everyone, thanks for watching. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/retailarchaeology to find out how you can help support the channel. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my video on Target. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and also make sure to follow at the social media links down there because that's the best way to keep up with what's going on with the Retail Archaeology channel. Also, I know the last couple of episodes have kind of been downers. I promise the next one's going to be a fun one.